Something new is in the room, but then again, that's the name of the game around here. I am, by far, no engineer, but I'm pretty happy with the way this all turned out. It looks very streamable. Today, we're going to go through the process of how that all came together. Plus, a little bit later, we're going to take a little glance at the Nintendo Switch Online game trial for the end of September. Looks like this one may have initiated a physical game release hunt. Okay, so the game trial game has a photosensitivity warning, so I guess so does this video. How do I keep getting a hold of these photosensitivity games? All that and a little bit more. Hope you stay tuned so that you can say, well, that's new to me. Here we go. All right, so I need to change this up. I've removed all of the controllers and hooks that I had. They're just 3M hooks. And what we want to put in here instead, these Monster Basics LED light strips, and we're going to try to form them the way they do in the box. So I've got two. Each of them are 6.5 feet, and I'm going to try to spell at least most of my name on the wall. They come with these little, I don't know, brackets that'll supposed to hold them in. Each has one screw, each bracket. So, yeah, we're going to see how that works out. We're back to redo this wall. As you can see, I've put up the hanger, the 3M hanger. Line it up. Looks great. So, if you have questions about this piece, of course, throw it in the comments. Any comments are always good. I think before we continue, though, I've got my little Mario Kart collection. Should probably move these. We're going to avoid the ones that are just going to fall off and annoy us and potentially have us step on them. Because I'm not stepping on Mario Kart figures today. Not today. Now that we're lining everything up, I don't want to put too much weight left on this 3M hook. I did have one on here, but it broke. They do not like how wide this rope is, but we're going to make it work. Very carefully. Try to twist it.
That's what she said.
See if we'll break one or not to go where you want it to go. I'm trying to bring up the back end so that it can almost bend around or kind of seal itself in the center.
That's what she said.
You gotta really hold it there and let it adhere to the wall. So I give it a few seconds. I sit here and I admire everything that I've put up so far. I mean, the collection keeps growing, especially my Metroid collection. I'm trying to get a hold of the Ripley amiibo. Anyway, I've kept these together with tie wraps, as you can see, or whatever you call them. And what I'm going to have to do is we're going to unravel this one, let it hang, unravel this one. So it comes with these little slots, and there's only 5 of them. And if you need to make something as intricate as I'm making, 5 is not enough. It just isn't. So I've used these 3M cord, like indoor-outdoor cord hooks to kind of set this up and stick to the wall while I prepare the other clamps to go in. And there's also like what's going to happen when I take these tie wraps off, right? We'll see how that works. All right, so I've lined up where I want these spaces. So essentially what we're looking at, these little guys here are going to hold them in place, and they just need one screw hole on the back, apparently. I'm going to use them in a certain position so that it compresses the letters together, and it's all together, and then once I'm able to confirm that, I should be able to take off the tie wraps, and it should stay in place. I'm no engineer, so we'll see how this goes. And now we're going to move on to the second part of the word. I'm just going to put these up first because these are going to line us up and help us sketch out where our spacers are going to go. I like to give it a little lean and hold on to it for a good 10 seconds. All right, that should do. So obviously we've got the G we're lining up here. We've got an L. Whoop, whoop. Don't let it stick to the wall accidentally. Do I care that it's not lining up with the D? No, I'm emphasizing the L. I guess I'm underemphasizing the G, but it doesn't need to hang that low.
That's what she said.
And then this will just go here, simply. So all we really need to do, fasten between the letters and below one or two of the letters, and Bob's your uncle. Now this loop here on the L is getting a little big, so we can actually kind of tug at it. Okay, that should be good enough. We do have actually quite a bit of extra light, so we'll see what we can do with that. But first and foremost, I want to nail down these supports because I don't think sketching it out is necessary. I think we can do it while we're here. I know they say measure twice, cut once. Well, I'm not cutting. All right, so that's up, but what am I gonna do to power it? So, I've decided to take my Skull Candy Bank. I'm gonna pry Bowser away from the wall, try to see if I can stick this with the alien tape so that it's not completely weighing on the shelf. We can put the Mario Kart characters up later. I think it looks pretty good. Let's see if the remote works on both. We've got a graphic.
Deep within the ground, a town of diggers are sheltered from the outside world. Until one day, the town's greatest digger, John, finds a little girl trapped in some strange chamber, floating unconscious. Our story starts with John and the white-haired girl Sam living their life in town. While you cook for Sam and find a way to get her enrolled in school, the beginning of the game is a bit slow, but just enough to get you comfortable, cozy, and invested before it all goes sideways. Or rather, I guess, eastward. I feel like I've been buried in a hole for 4 days. Those 4 days, I have been on an adventure from the underground to above ground, uncovering mysteries. What game am I talking about? That's right, Eastward. For Nintendo Switch Online subscription members, the game trials for the past week have been Eastward. This game is so good. It's magical, really. After playing Sea of Stars from Sabotage Studios, this is the perfect slide into something else. The music's very catchy. We're gonna dive right into chapter 3 here. So essentially, Eastward follows the story of John, who is the greatest digger. He's a fighter, he's a cook. This is Sam, the little girl that John found. So you take care of Sam, you eventually get her to go to school, and then a whole other adventure ensues after that, that takes you from town to town in a world that your characters didn't even really know existed, or at least Sam didn't. But this is Sam. When you control Sam, she has a couple of abilities that are particular, but it takes you a while to get to them. For the most part in the game, you're playing John. Speaking of John, we don't need to use that. So obviously it's gonna block me from doing anything until I get to the very loud cooking kitchen sound. The gameplay is not overly complicated at all. There's real-time fighting in the game, so you're not jumping into a separate fighting battle or turn-based battle. There's a cooking element where you do collect ingredients and make different dishes, and it gives you a slot machine where you can win big if you match all 3 while you're cooking. I don't know if it gives you any bonuses. I haven't seen any. The artwork is actually quite enchanting alongside the music. Dialogue is actually pretty funny at times. There's some tongue-in-cheek references to some favorite video games. I would put this up there as kind of a cozy role-playing game because, again, it's not overly pretty vanilla, I guess is what the kids are saying. All right, I guess we're investigating monkeys, or... So when you're saving this game, you're going to a refrigerator.
What?
And the refrigerator is always going to have some kind of wise-ish tale or fortune cookie-ish advice for you.
What?
Full of things you thought would last forever, but are gone within an hour of dinner. All right. Well, there was another room we didn't go in, I guess. Down. Oh, what's this? You should. Yeah. I don't see anything I can interact with over here, so... You're just leaving me with a whole bunch of to be continued. Old robot, you say, eh? There's also a sub-game that you can play called Earthborn, and it's a turn-based RPG game within the game. Off to the Coin Palace, I guess. They always say, oh, we must be pretty smart. Delusions. Delusions. Newfound stardom. All right, come on, Armstrong. Each town you visit has a picturesque detail that just draws you in every time. The mystery of Sam's powers are chilling at every turn, and the story unravels at the perfect pace. Where is this Coin Palace? This game is rated T because it gets quite dark, even conceptually, despite its wacky characters and varying personalities. Oh, I think we found the Coin Palace. Oh, somebody is serious on that base. I will admit, animations at times have a way of overemphasizing women's breasts, as everybody kind of bobs to the same beat, oddly enough. For some people, it's a little extra noticeable. Although I find the maps in the towns a little janky and hard to get used to at first, the missions themselves are just so ridiculously common. Like, get a reference letter, and enroll Sam into school. While at the same time, there are more challenging puzzles that force you to think outside the box to move forward. All in all, I have to say this is the best game I've ever downloaded off of the game trials. I don't usually see a lot of game trial games that are up my alley, though I should have probably tried Stardew Valley at the time, but it came out conveniently when Tears of the Kingdom maybe was. This is just one more way that you need to take advantage of your Nintendo Switch online service, because the more people who use it, the more they know the demand to keep it around. The thought of even getting to the end of this game by the end of the 5 days of the game trial was a fantasy in and of itself. So Eastward, 100% recommended by me. If you are a fan of Sea of Stars that recently came out, adventures and role-playing games, Eastward is definitely up your alley. If you're looking for a cozy experience at the same time, Eastward is double up your alley. So check out Eastward. Unfortunately, it was only after I finished the game trial for Eastward that I realized physical copy isn't really available. So this means I'm on a hunt. A hunt to find a physical version of Eastward for the Nintendo Switch. I'm told it's good to have goals. And before we go, I'm very, very excited to announce several weeks ago I traded in my original Switch, the blue and red Joy-Con edition, in all of its original box, hell, its original packaging, manuals and everything. GameStop didn't give me a lot for it, but I also decided to bring Captain Toad Treasure Tracker with me, since my wife and I hadn't played that in some time. One double trade-in bonus later, I've got myself almost $200 put towards 3 of my upcoming favorite games: Sonic Superstars, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and the Arkham trilogy. Needless to say, a couple days later, I grabbed a few more games, like Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus and Diablo 3, both for the Switch. Traded those in, put those towards it, slammed $8 on the counter, and I am happy to announce that on Tuesday of this week, I'll be picking up my Sonic Superstars and all its pre-order bonuses bought and paid for. And then I go back on Friday and get Super Mario Bros. Wonder bought and paid for. But of course I have to wait until December 1st for the Arkham trilogy. But you know, the good news is that spaces my gameplay out through the month of November. This is strategic. By accident. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know it helps the channel, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say anyway. As you can see, I'm going to be busy making videos on Sonic Superstars and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Hopefully those will come out as 2 separate videos, which means I've got a lot of work to do. So until then, maybe you'll find something new for you.